This will work. See if I can get sound here. Again, technical difficulties. It seems to be always with this. I don't know. This is an old machine that I have, but I think I'm getting some. But thank you for bringing that in. On that, I guess that you did get the sound on TikTok, but not on the other one. So hopefully we will do better there. So I'll get rid of my headset because that doesn't seem to work. So hopefully we're going to get a camera here. That would be great. There's a glitch in the software that I'm using. I'm probably going to have to change streaming software, but there we go. I think we're back, and I think we're working. Thank you for that. Okay, can anybody hear? Just me? Okay, now. Okay, great. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. There. Sometimes I have problems with the sound. I've been using a headphone, but I think that is a cheap one that I bought at Five Below. So I think I may have to get another one. So I'm using the microphone on the camera now. So hopefully that'll work. All right, let's get a question from TikTok. Let's look at Tesla first today and see what we got going on there with Tesla. TSLA. And there we go. Okay, so if we're looking at Tesla, it looks like it is coming up to the 200-day moving average. I've sold my position in Tesla, but we are still, as you can see here, we're still just shy of the consolidation, which is right here at this level. So hopefully, yeah, there we go. So the consolidation is running about 205. The low part of that consolidation is about 160. Currently, we're at 185. Pull back a little bit. I do think that this is probably going to move higher tomorrow, but you might be able to ride this one up to about 200. I'd be selling at 200. I don't have a position in Tesla right now, but we shall see what happens there with this one. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's get Tesla. We did Tesla, Upstart. These are kind of blasts from the past. These were good 2 years ago. UPST, Upstart. Part of the problem is that, and this is the weekly chart for Upstart. As you can see, it's sort of in a downward trend. Most of the financial stocks have been not doing as well because of the consumer, but it seems to may have bottomed. We'll see kind of what's going on there. I want to take a look at the daily chart on it to see if we could pick it up. Yeah, no, it's got a relatively very strong relative strength, and it is above the 200-day line. So, there might be some bottom fishing opportunity here. It definitely is showing signs of revival. But the 5 out of 9 checklist doesn't excite me, and so I probably wouldn't be in this one. We're way above the 21-day line, so it's just kind of right now. I just think we got to watch this one and not do anything. Just doesn't really do much, unfortunately, right now. So it's kind of an issue with that. So not as great as we would definitely like to see it. That's for sure. All right, let's take a look at Lisa. Thank you very much. Let's look at Shopify first. I started buying a little Shopify today. SHOP, of course, is the symbol for Shopify. And we're looking at the daily chart. Let's go to the weekly chart. This is one of the reasons I did like the kind of the action on it. There we go. We kind of see it there. I did like the action on it. We had this is the weekly chart that we're looking at here. We did have this movement up from 50 and then all the way to 60. So it did kind of jump on earnings. And so there was a lot of buying after the fact. I bought it on the pullback. I think it overreacted and pulled back down. If we look at the if we do look at the hold on. Let's see if I can get to my, there we go. Look at the daily chart here for Shopify and click. There we go. All right, here's the daily chart for Shopify. We came down, we basically just touched the 21-day line. So that's normal. It comes down, it creates this cup formation, even though it isn't showing on my pattern recognition. It then comes up above the buy point. The buy point in this case was probably about 60, and then it pulls back to the 21-day line. I think it's going to get support at the 21-day line. That's my guess. And if it does get its support at the 21-day line, I think that we're good to go. But I do like the stock. Let's take a look at the checklist on it. Now I didn't have a position in this before. I just bought it today, right at the close. It's up after hours, 58.44. I bought it right in the last basically 30 minutes of the day. I just bought a half a position, not a huge position, one of my smaller accounts, but I definitely like the stock. I definitely like the area that it's in, and I definitely think that it may have tested the 21-day line. So this isn't an ideal place to buy it, but it's not a bad place to buy it. It's sort of a secondary buy point on this one. Currently, Shopify is right at about the 21-day line, the 21-day line being at 57.35. So that's kind of where I bought it. And so it's looking fairly good. Let's look at Meli. This is the big Argentinian-based Latin American retailer, kind of like Amazon, MELI. I haven't been in this one because it is so expensive per share. It is really, I just haven't been, I've been buying other stocks rather than Meli, but this is a tremendous stock and definitely something that you can, definitely something that if you just buy a few shares of would look pretty good. What happened here, we have a bounce right after the hours, as you can see. We pulled back down to the 21-day line. This is kind of what happens when there's bad news with good stocks. We pulled right at the 21-day line. This is where the bots are going to buy this. So probably tomorrow, I suspect a movement up on this one. It's in an upward trend. It's out of the buy zone, but it's still pretty good. The buy zone on this one, the pivot 1,095. Right here, that's the pivot, and then it's moved above the pivot, pulled back down, tested the pivot, and then continued up. So this is looking very strong. It's staying nicely above the 21-day line. So therefore, the pullback to the 21-day line. This is not a bad place to buy it if you're not already in it. If you're in it, I think that it's the trend is still looking good. It's still moving up, and we're well above the 200-day moving average. So all in all, that looks pretty good. I know that today was a little bit tough because of the shakeout. A little bit tough, but very, very, very good. All right, Sarah is interested in the two major ETFs, the SPDR and the QQQ. Now, these were both down today because the indexes were down, but let's look at the SPDR first, SPY. This is really what caused, the reason for my bullishness really on Monday was that we had moved beyond the key level on the SPDR, which the key level, I think, is the 420 level. It's right about here. Oops, a little bit. It's the 420 level is sort of, if it can break through this, then I think I didn't was quite right. But basically, it's come down. It's tested the 21-day moving average. I think it's going to get a bounce tomorrow, my guess. And we're right at the 21-day line at 413. So, I do think that, again, it's continuing to move higher. I don't see a reason to sell the Qs right now. I think we're in an upward trend. I think we're in a power trend. So I definitely think that, you can definitely hold this one. Also, let's take a look at the Qs, the QQQ. This covers, of course, the NASDAQ 100. These are the 100 largest stocks that are in the NASDAQ, and it's the ETF that covers that. So instead of buying, Amazon and Apple and that kind of thing, you just buy the Qs. Now, Same fate happened here. We were moving up very, very nicely. And then we did have a test today. It moved really closer to the 10-day line. Now, the QQQ right now is outperforming the spider. And that's not surprising because the spider, the S&P 500, has quite a few bank stocks in it. The bank stocks are weak, especially the regionals. So be careful with those. But it does look like we've moved up very nicely here. We've moved up very nicely. And this one, again, don't be too concerned that it did pull back today. The entire market pulled back today. I think it's going to get some support at the 10-day line. So that's my take on that. Mr. Finance Fund. Let's look at TD. And let's pull up TD. Okay, there we go. And that is the Toronto Dominion Bank. Now, in Canada, even though this is listed in New York, in Canada, there are really about 6 major banks, and they're all kind of large. Of course, there's BOM, Bank of Montreal. There's Toronto Dominion. There's what is it? Royal Bank of Royal Bank. There's 6 banks. This is one of the biggest. This is the biggest, I think, in Canada. Here's the problem with the banks. I just don't like the banks right now at all. Trading below the 200-day line. It's in a downward trend. Let's take a look at. Let's go to the weekly chart. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. This is not the one I would not buy this bank, but it's true of all banks here. Really, we've been in a downward trend on this one since December of 2021. So this is not, the trend of Toronto Dominion Bank, and as a matter of fact, all banks right now is down. It did move up a little bit here, because everything doesn't go down a straight line. But I just wouldn't want to be in this bank. I would be very, very frightful of being in this bank. They could have a liquidity problem because unfortunately the U.S. gets a cold and Canada goes into the ICU. So this is a tough one. I would be. I don't think I would be a holder of this. Anytime something drops below that 200-day line, I'm really out. Here's the problem. As you can see, the 50-day moved below the 200-day line. This technically is a bad move because this is showing extreme weakness. This means that the institutions are selling. So we don't want to be in this one if we can avoid it. All right, let's look at SHIP. SHIP is, I believe, an ETF. I haven't traded SHIP that much. This is for TikTok, by the way. And let's take a look at SHIP. SHIP. There we go. Okay, Maritime Holdings. Unfortunately, really since the first of the year, the maritime stocks have not been doing as well. Again, this one's really not investment grade. It's under $10 a barrel. It's under $10 a barrel. Under $10 a share. It looked like back here at the end of March, it had the strength. It was getting stronger, but that is not the case. It's definitely getting weaker. 50 days below the 200-day. That's showing a lot of weakness. And can it go lower? Well, it's already pretty low, but believe me, it can go lower. Here's the let's look at the fundamentals on it. Just take a look. Yeah, they had a bad report. They're coming up on earnings. I don't think it's going to be good. The trend is not with us. Their earnings are in 44 days. So I definitely wouldn't carry this into earnings. And I would probably be out of this one. So sorry to tell you that. What bank was that? Okay, the bank that we were talking about there, Wes, by the way, that was Toronto Dominion Bank. It's one of the large Canadian banks. Right now, it's really not a good time to be in any of the banks. They're all weak. The regional banks are weaker than the money center banks, but they're all weak. So be very, very careful in bank stocks. Just really not something to avoid right now. The areas of the market that are trending the best, and let's take a look at that, are some of the tech areas are getting reinvested in. they have been the tech has been essentially in decline for 2 years, and we may have gotten a bottom or close to a bottom. That seems to be where the strength is right now in the market. So let's take a look at the rankings of the areas of the market, and kind of take a look at that to see kind of where the strength is in the market. Currently, the strongest areas in the market are in the computer software area, the educational media area. There's 19 stocks in there. That's strong. Building, residential, and commercial. The computer hardware and peripherals area is strong. Software database, this is where Oracle is. So we're starting to see a movement back into some of the tech issues. And that's really what this is telling us. It's not, not everything is moving that way, but we're starting to see that. Let's look at the database area. This is an area of the market that I particularly like. This is where Oracle is the largest one, but unfortunately, I don't have really any exposure here. I wish I had more exposure, but if we look at the top stocks in the database area, the strongest right now is Progress Software, and then comes Oracle. Oracle has a relative strength of 94, so let's look at that, and that's kind of showing us strength here. ORCL, and they have completed their move to Austin, Texas from Redwood Shores. So I believe, and as you can see, very strong stock. Right now, the money from the fund seems to be going back into some of the stocks that are in the database area. The close after the hours, 98. This is a higher high. So if we draw it across there, this is making a cup with handle. There was a buy point here at 91.22, but there is a secondary buy point if we're within 5% of the 21-day long. Oops, let's go over to, that's the weekly chart. Let's go over to the daily chart. Show you that. All right, let's see how close we can get to the 21-day line. Yeah, we're very, very close. We're 75%, 0.75% above it. This is a good buy point for Oracle. Oracle is strengthening, but their earnings are in 23 days, so we have 3 weeks. That's pretty good. So this one definitely is showing technically very, very some strength technically. This one's definitely showing strength technically. So this could be a potential. This could be a potential for buying this. All right, let's take a look. Next question. Thank you. Let's look at MU. Now, MU for Lisa. This is for Lisa. Was banned by the Chinese government. MU. This is in retaliation. They cannot sell their product in China. And of course, Micron Technology, MU, is one of the largest producers of chips in the world for memory. Samsung, of course, I think is the largest. But it definitely, with the ban that has come from China, you can see that took a little bit off them. They came up, then China banned the sale. It's down. And the question is this a place that we could take a look at it? We're basically 4% above the 21-day line, so I probably would not buy it there. It's checklist 67%. I would say let's look at the fundamentals here for MU. Yeah, sales were down 53%, and they're in a quarterly loss. So, Micron is a strange stock because it has a 32 relative price to earnings ratio, but it still produces a lot of cash flow, $15 per share. I would be careful with Micron here, even though I do like the stock. I'd be pretty careful with Micron, just because I think it's going to be difficult for them with this ban from China. So. All right, so let's look at Apple. This is also one of the big tech stocks. I don't own Apple currently. Part of the reason I don't own Apple is because it's essentially what they call a market perform stock. meaning that I could buy an index like the QQQ and get kind of everything that Apple is going to give because it's such a large stock and it's such a large component of the indexes. This is also it pulled back down almost to the 21-day line. The higher high 172, so we got up close to that. See, we got up close, and then we moved back. So up after hours. I definitely like, if you're looking for the massive big cap stocks, I like Google better, but let's take a look and compare them. It's always a good idea to, not to guess, it's to compare, but let's see. I'm going to look at 7/1/2023. I'm going to look at Apple versus Google. Oops, let's do that for the right year. All right, maybe I can get it right. Nope, not letting us do it. Okay, let's see if we can get the software to let us work. Nope, not letting us do it. No, my screen has frozen. Sorry about that. My screen is frozen. Well, anyways, we can do it with the chart. Let's exit the pages. There we go. Okay, now just had a crash on my charts. So with Apple, I probably would not be a buyer here. All right, let's take a look from long term. Any splits coming? Yeah, this isn't really a time for splits. I wish it was. We need a little bit stronger market here. We need just a little bit stronger market before splits. But one stock that I would like to show you, of course, is Google. Now, hopefully, I can get the charts back up here. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I get the charts back up for Google. So I am kind of interested in Google right now. All right, let's see if we can get it. There we go. There we go. Okay, finally got it back. Sometimes the software does not work. Actually, I think it's more the bandwidth than the software. And it's me too. All right, this is Google. And Google did pull back a little bit today. I've been trying to accumulate a larger position in Google because I do think it's starting to make its move. We pulled back. We pulled back, but I definitely think that, because I've been buying it here, and then it pulled back a little bit. It's up after hours. I definitely think we're going to stabilize here, but it'll go sideways a little bit. But relative strength is 93, so that's looking pretty good. I want to compare this against. I want to compare Google against Apple. There we go. So here we go. Not letting us do it. Hold on. No, this does not want to let me get this, does it? No, it does not want it to let me do it. Okay. Sorry about that. I can't compare them. That part of the software is not functioning. It's crashing. But this is the one that I think bears of the really ultra big caps that bears looking at. I've been buying it essentially since it broke out from this 1.0. It crashed again. So my software crashed again. Sorry about that. Okay, so I guess I'm having trouble with my charts here. I guess that's kind of it for today. Let's see if we have any more questions that I can say. All right, any splits coming? No, not really anything on the splits calendar. But here's the thing: if we do have splits, I will send out a notice, and if you're on the action trade alerts, you should be able to get that out there. Easy to do. Just go to www.DallasTradingFloor. And also, as I always ask, please like the show. Please like it. That really helps. Also, we're on YouTube, so we're definitely on YouTube. So we definitely want to see us and like us on YouTube because it really helps us out. But smash the like button, and we will be back. And we will be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Thanks everybody so much for taking a look at the show. Tell your friends about the show. I'm going to try to figure out how to do some search engine optimization so I can get out to more people. But until the time, please like it, and that helps us a lot. So I will be seeing you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, everybody. Happy trading.